So the one thing I will tell you as Republicans, we will always protect Medicare and Social Security. We will protect that for the next generation going forward. But we are going to scrutinize every single dollar spent. It's the hardworking taxpayer that actually pays it, and we want to make sure it's spent wisely and not the way the Democrats have spent it.
That's completely not plausible coming off of his lips. As much as he wants to say that the GOP won't go after Social Security in the debt limit battle, well, there are other vital programs that definitely are not safe. The New York Times headline here makes that clear. It says House GOP prepares to slash federal programs in coming budget showdown. That's right, a breakdown of what the GOP plans to target looks like this. The outline includes a 45% cut to foreign aid, adding work requirements for food stamps and Medicaid beneficiaries, a 43% cut to housing programs, including phasing out the Section 8 program that pays a portion of monthly rent costs for low-income people, cutting the FBI's counterintelligence budget by nearly half, and eliminating Obamacare expansions to Medicaid to save tens of billions of dollars. Interesting, I don't see anything about taxing the wealthy there. It seems that they're trimming everything back on things that would help those who are quite marginalized in our society. But of course, now McCarthy says he's ready to reignite the flame here. That's right, tweeting at President Biden. Mr. President, I'm incredibly concerned you are putting an already fragile economy in jeopardy by insisting upon your extreme position on the debt limit. It's time to drop partisanship, roll up our sleeves, and find common ground on this urgent challenge. My God, the only thing common is that they both get a paycheck from the federal government. But critics out there in Congress, they're definitely quick to get ahead of McCarthy's attempts here. Really, Common Dreams has the truth here in their headline, saying this scam is a non-starter. Dems blast McCarthy's latest call for painful cuts. Let's look at that blast. As President Biden has demanded a debt ceiling increase without any accompanying spending cuts, in response to McCarthy's letter, Biden pushed House Republicans to release a detailed budget plan, but stressed that spending talks must be separate from prompt action on Congress's basic obligations to pay the nation's bills and avoid economic catastrophe. In a Tuesday appearance on CNBC, McCarthy said he is prepared to recommend $4 trillion in total spending cuts, but he didn't provide specifics on which programs would be cut and by how much, drawing mockery from Democratic lawmakers. Yeah, and one of those lawmakers was Senator Chuck Schumer. Take a look at his tweet. This is from Huffington Post senior politics reporter Iger Bobbick, saying Schumer on McCarthy's demands. If he comes to the president's office with no specific plan, no specific details about what the Republicans want to cut, what are they going to talk about? The weather? Yeah, that'll be interesting because we know the weather is definitely a little bit more reliable, it seems these days in the GOP. They are not looking to ensure that the least among us are supported by the system. They're not looking to trim those who could definitely sustain a trim in terms of maybe paying a bit more in taxes. Rather, we the people are gonna be the ones to suffer, the people who actually work. And it is clear, taking away opportunity for people to get benefits, Section 8 housing funding, these things are essential that come to individuals' daily lives and ability to take care of themselves. But the GOP really wants to sweep the leg here still. Jessica.
I'm just not a fan. Anytime a member of Congress acts like Medicare, Medicaid, the things that our public dollars go to pay for, when they act like those aren't things we worked for, and they instead treat them like they're gifts from the US government to you. That's not how any of this works. They're pretending that the spending is so limited and so constrained that we have to cut back on Medicare and Medicaid when our economy is far more productive than it was when parents, children were doing better than them economically. They could work their way through college, they could afford a home. That economy has been gutted because while we've been far more productive, our wages haven't kept up with this productivity. And even recently, during the pandemic, 53% of the money made off of price increases was all profit. So if workers are being more productive and making things that earn their bosses more money, we have worked for things that we are not getting. That money is all going into the pockets of billionaires, of CEOs, of the owner donors that pay people like Kevin McCarthy to say things precisely like this, that there's not enough money to go around. Well, where's the money going? Guess what? It's in the hands of the people who are paying him to say exactly that. And it's things that we've worked for. When you go to work every single day in your 9 to 5 and you put in 8 hours, you deserve Medicare and Medicaid. We can all pool our resources together and very easily afford these things. But when they're suppressing us and keeping our wages so low and increasing prices so that we have to give more of those hard-earned wages to them, they're just hoarding the money at this point and essentially keeping us ransom and working for them, holding us ransom rather. And so it's disgusting to hear them talk about things that we've worked for as if it's a gift from Kevin McCarthy.
Absolutely. It's so funny because it reminds me of exactly how our nation was founded, the thought that only white wealthy men who owned property got a say. So their goal was, well, let's keep the people as uneducated as possible. Let's keep them as poor as possible and relying upon us so that they have to labor and we are the ones in control. And it seems very much the case that that whole mantra is still very much alive and well and part of the legacy that is America in addition to its future.